if you make someone do a dorgeza, that's actually now illegal.
Can get you up to 3 years of prison.
You're basically giving up your basic human rights.
We were training, and I think I accidentally struck a man in the groin.
Ow.
And so now you would have to apologize, would you not? Aha! Checkmate!
I am so sorry, podcast kittens. It's Cathy Cat
And it's Ladybeard coming at you with another heartfelt apologizing installment of
Cat with
We
Beard.
are so sorry.
Massively sorry.
We apologize from the depths of our loins from the horrendous experience we have subjected you to over the past 100 and something episodes.
Es tut mir so furchtbar leid.
Wirklich, es tut mir leid. Ich bin schlechter Mann. Es tut mir leid.
We apologize for all of these apologies that we started this podcast with.
Should both be cancelled. Hashtag cancel with beard.
Cat with beard. Cancel with beard. My gosh. So apology in Japan is our topic for today.
Apology in Japan.
You probably, if you come to Japan, sooner or later will offend someone, knowingly or unknowingly.
Yep.
You might not even mean to, but you should know how to apologize according to the situation. There are grades for that.
Yeah. And, yes.
Level of apologization.
An apology is a very serious thing in Japan, isn't it?
It's important. It's very
not like
important.
a little bit, sorry about that, you'll be all right. No. You must be taking an apology extremely seriously, my friends.
Especially if it's on a formal occasion, you really
mate.
have to take it serious.
Really?
If it's like on your workplace and such. But even between friends, you probably need to learn when to actually say sorry, which I think is a general life skill. But
Some people need to learn when to say sorry in general, you know. Some people think they are never at fault, ever.
yeah.
Including when they clearly are.
You're probably going to lose some friends if you're like that. But in Japan, one thing we all need to do when we apologize before we say anything is bow.
Of course.
Yep.
Very important.
Bring that bow out.
Mhm.
Bow, wow, wow.
Yep. A raised chin and an apology do not mix.
Exactly. So actually in Japan, you can't just say, oh, I'm so sorry, and like not even like,
Sorry.
sorry.
Can't do that.
You can't
No.
do that. Nope. It
Build
needs to be
a
little bit.
bridge. You remember kids say that? Build a bridge and get over it. You ever heard that?
Oh, no, I did not.
Aussie girls used to say build a bridge.
Oh my gosh, build a bridge and get over it. So you need to bow.
Yep,
So
you must bow. Very important.
is number one. So you'd have to lower your head.
Why is this, Cathy Cat? Explain how bowing entered the apology situation.
Well, the story behind it, like in the samurai era, if you actually did that, you know, it's an area where people were, you know, they used to fight, people had swords. So if you actually bow, you expose the back of your head, you know, and you actually, your opponent could.
Take off your head. Yeah.
So if you-
you'd be genuinely offering your life up
Yeah.
to the other person.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
that's like the degree of apology that's there. Nowadays, actually mentioning a degree, there are different degrees of how low you should bow.
Oh, yeah.
Depending on how sorry you are. So, you know, if you apologize to a friend or if you apologize at the workplace, the degree is lower. So you starts at 15, it can go to 30, it can be going to 45 or more, depending on how sorry you are.
Yeah, and I feel 45 doesn't seem that dramatic to me. I would have thought a 90-degree bow. Now that's when you're starting to say sorry to someone.
That exists. That is definitely
Yeah.
a bow. And there's something even worse than that.
What's that?
Which has been parodied a little bit on the internet. It's the dogeza.
The dog is, yes.
The form of throwing all of your self-respect away for the sake of saying sorry to someone else.
You get down on your knees, you put your hands on the floor, and you stick your forehead on the ground, and you have to stay there until the recipient of your apology tells you it's acceptable for you to stand up.
Yes. So it's pretty much you kneel down like you would kneel down if you go to a tea ceremony or something, and then you just whoosh until your forehead touches the dust of the floor.
And you stay there until they say up, you pop.
Yep,
Yeah,
that's
yep.
that's the lowest form, and that's really awkward though. You don't really see that really. That's like, you know, it's quite humiliating.
You've done some heavy nonsense if you're doing that.
Yeah,
It's occasionally a politician or something like that will do, or a leader of industry when he embezzled millions of dollars from the company. Some hardcore Which it's an apology.
Really?
That's what good-
I've
yeah.
never seen that on TV, someone doing a dogeza.
Shiori, tell us about some famous dogezas.
I only know the 90 degrees and then they have to hold it for a very long time.
There was one like talento celebrity who got arrested by using illegal drug.
Oh,
He did dogeza at the apology press conference.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that, as far as I remember, that's the only thing I saw, like as a public apology that people did, like dogeza,
Really?
not standard bowing.
When was the last time you did a dogeza?
I've never done it in my life.
Oh, all right. It's just because you don't feel sorry towards anyone, or just you never done something that severe.
I think a dogeza is a bit extreme.
Shiori just doesn't give. Shiori doesn't give a rat's ass. Woo! Shiori doesn't care. I do what I want.
No. I apologize. I apologize, like, often. But, dogeza is really, really extreme. Like, it's really another level of apology. So, like, if you live normally, you never face that occasion.
What about if like someone was going about their regular work? Let's say somebody is actually a roofer and they fix roofs, but then due to their shoddy craftsmanship, a roof actually fell apart, and it actually, when the roof caved in, it struck an elderly lady, causing her to lose her life. Would that cause a dogeza?
Well,
You murdered someone by accident. Is that fair enough? You could do a dogeza now?
I mean, yeah, you can do dogeza and you can ask for it. But I think that person will face more like serious, legal punishment in the end. So.
Yeah,
Dogeza is the least of your worries for this extreme situation I came up
you
with.
probably have other problems there if you have
What
shoddy
if you're riding your
craftsmanship.
bike and you accidentally ride it into a salaryman on his lunch break and it causes him to drop his ice cream cone?
That's probably not a dogeza offense.
There's an ice
I
cream
mean,
cone.
you can dogeza as much as you want, but probably Japanese people don't do that.
Maybe I'll start a trend of just street dogezas.
I don't know. I've seen once in school someone do a dogeza to another person, and the whole classroom went quiet. And it was just
Really?
awkward. It's like, like, oh no, like no one likes seeing that. It's like someone literally grabbing, like humiliating themselves in front of another person. Don't know what went on there, but it was really awkward, and the person who got apologized to was very uncomfortable, going like, "What are you doing? Stop it! Stop it! Stop it!"
Really?
So yeah, it's not something you just easily do. It's not just sorry, and it's not oh, I'm very, very sorry. It's like uncomfortably sorry.
Yeah, I think the the easiest explanation, if you do dogeza, you're basically giving up your basic human rights.
Oh, wow. Human rights.
That's the nuance to it. It's not really like you're doing that, but it's the nuance of literally humiliating yourself, losing face, giving all of that away.
Upon consideration, I remember I did a dogeza to someone in pro wrestling training once
What
in like my
did you
first
do?
or second year here. Well, I got a feeling I didn't realize that a dogeza was so extreme. And in fact, it's only now I'm realizing it's that extreme. I thought that was just how you said sorry. I think we were training, and I think I accidentally struck a man in the groin. And he was my senpai as well. So I just wanted to apologize because he had to stop training and go take care of his groin for a while. So I felt bad, and so I did, keeping in mind we're wrestling, it's already on our knees anyway, So I think I just did, I'm so sorry. And my trainer was like, get up, keep training, get up. He wasn't having it. He's
People
like,
don't want to see that.
People don't like it, actually. It ruins the atmosphere.
Oh,
People are
yeah.
like,
Everyone
"Ooh."
feels very uncomfortable. Don't just randomly do an dogeza. Even though that one guy who did on YouTube, like a kind of series of like making jokes about that, got away with that. But until then, it was a bit of like, an uncomfortable thing.
Yeah, and it turns out actually in this day and age, if you make someone do a dogeza, if you tell them you're going to dogeza, you force them to, that's actually now illegal.
Yeah, it can get you up to 3 years of prison because it's the offense of extortion. Article 223 of the Criminal Code, apparently.
Shiori, can you explain to us how forcing someone to do a dogeza equals extortion. Isn't extortion normally when you go to a shop and you say, give me $10,000 a month or I'll send my boys to burn your shop down?
It's probably like, if you don't apologize to me in the strictest way possible, I shall never forgive you, or?
Well, as I said, doing dogeza is basically giving up all of your human rights. So forcing people to do it is actually really humiliating act.
But you guys have a lot of humiliation in Japan with this senpai kohai culture. Like a lot of the time, senpai is forcing kohai to do all kinds of embarrassing things and
Well, they
horrendous
shouldn't be
experiences,
doing
right?
that in the first place.
So that's already in the culture. So how is a dogeza different from just ijimeruing somebody?
Well, dogeza is, again, it's the next level.
It's next level.
It's next level.
Because to me, frankly, it doesn't seem that bad. Like I've heard stories like senpai kohai stories of ijimeru when some horrendous things have happened. People have been forced to eat dog food and just awful things. Frankly, getting on your knees and doing this for a second seems way easier and better than these other extreme things
I think
that
it's
people
the
get away with.
cultural connotation that is so heavy with it. And like it was said, it's like you're giving up your human rights. Kind of people will look down on you for like, oh, like that's how long you low have sung kind of thing as well. So I think there's a lot of negative emotions connected to that as well. So, but for example, in 2021, apparently there was a hospital and one of the people that was going there actually forced a medical member staff to do a dogeza because they called their family by the wrong name. And the police actually arrested him for that.
Hang on. A staff at a hospital, first thing first, this is a high-stress job. And it's 2021. We're in the middle of COVID-19. So I put it to you, this staff member has some things on their mind. Called a gentleman's family member by the wrong name, and this was just so offensive that this gentleman forced this hospital staff member to do a dogeza and then got arrested for that.
Yeah. Poor doctors and medical staff. They were having a really, really bad year in the first
It
place.
seems unreasonable, and of course they would have. And it's not that bad, is he? It said the wrong name. Just, I'm sorry, Mr. Smith. I mean, Mr. Kevinson. It's not that horrible, is it? Maybe it is.
I mean, they probably had some other issues there, but there was another case before that where it was not made illegal just yet that I remember. There was like a cheap fashion store.
Yeah.
And they didn't, I'm not 100% sure what the actual circumstances were. Maybe they didn't have the outfit the customer wanted and the customer was very disappointed. But she was so disappointed and so angry at that poor lady working in that cheap clothing store that she forced her to do a dogeza. Then she, I think, took a picture of that. She put it online. She literally explored all her personal details online as well on top of that and literally just made that person's life hell. That poor staff member that was getting absolutely bullied. But at that point in time, I don't think it was illegal yet. Was it?
She actually got arrested.
Oh, okay.
Really?
Yes.
It was just sad to see it on the news as well, just to what extent she just bullied that poor lady.
And this is because a staff member at a store. Keep in mind, she doesn't place the orders. She's just a
staff member. It's not her store.
Gets forced to do this because they don't have this person's size or something in stock. It does seem extreme. So back to the hospital staff incident. In Australia, if you say to somebody with serious intent, but in Japan, that seems like, you're fine, no one cares. But it's making you get down on your knees and do this apology. You're going to jail. Bananas, eh?
I think something, I'm trying to explain the nuance of dogeza to you, and maybe I'm a little bit wrong with there, but it's like the same thing as like just get undressed in front of everyone. Literally that kind of literally humiliating another person. It's not just an apology, it's like that level of humiliation. You were nodding, was that right?
Yeah, totally correct.
Oh, really? Wow.
So yeah, that's why you don't force people to do that. And you shouldn't do it lightly at the party or something just for fun, because some people still will feel like a bit uncomfortable.
Really? Well, I've made many social faux pas in my time in Japan. If that's the case, I do this kind of ridiculous thing non-stop, and everyone laughs awkwardly.
Oh, well, there's different levels of apologies and apologizations. That's not real English.
Tell us with some tiered apologies, Cathy Cat.
Let's go for the very simple one. Gomen. Gomen, very like you bump into your friend, you're like, oh man, I forgot to bring the CD back that you lent me or that I borrowed from you, blah blah blah. My
gomen.
English, yes. You just something small. Hey, sorry, I forgot your pet bottle. Oh, they didn't have your favorite flavor, Gomen.
Gomen, like Gorman Adams. Wasn't that the name of the dad in the Adams family? Gorman?
Don't know actually.
Gorman Adams.
Gomen is the easiest one, so remember Gomen that way if you know the Adams family better than I do. And then next one is sumimasen.
Sumimasen.
But it's, you already said the wrong one.
Yeah.
You said sumimasen.
Yeah.
But sumimasen is actually you skipping the mi. It's like you're almost like mumbling a little bit of soz.
That is the most simultaneously Japanese and German thing you've ever said. I can't believe that is so super duper anal. Right, so the actual word is sumimasen.
That's already
But
the proper word.
You skip over that first just
Sumimasen.
All right.
So you're skipping the mi.
Sumimasen, like Smee from
So
Peter
instead of
Pan.
saying sorry, you're saying soz.
Yeah, okay.
That
so we
kind
say
of
it,
level.
My country soz.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the level of like not proper. You still say that to friends. You wouldn't say that at your workplace.
All right. No worries. Okay.
Next one, kind of similar, is sumimasen and gomennasai.
Okay.
Okay, you can say that, oh, you bumped someone like on the way out. You're like, oh, sumimasen. Like, oh, sorry. Like, it's like the casual sorry.
Yeah, okay. But hey, what we up to? Which one?
We're sumimasen and gomennasai.
Gomennasai.
They're kind of like
Cool.
very similar in their level. Next one though, you're actually kind of sorry at work. You messed up a little bit. You go moshiwake arimasen.
Ah, yes. Staff say that to me a lot. Moshiwake arimasen for simple things like they don't have the size of shoe that I want, or other just I asked for something, it can't be done. They hit me with that one a lot.
Yeah, it's a very polite way of saying.
It's always like,
sorry.
oh, that's fine. Don't worry about it.
Moshiwake arimasen.
Yeah, and then we level up after that. Too.
We're leveling up. We're more sorry now than we were before.
So insanely
we
sorry.
are so much more sorry because we are moshiwake gozaimasen level sorry.
Now here's where things really started to heat up. So that happens.
Gozaimasen.
It's like, okay, someone feels genuinely they have inconvenienced your life substantially.
Moshiwake gozaimasen.
Yeah, but you're all right. Don't worry.
It's pretty bad. We have one more that's even more.
Yeah.
You're really sorry.
Punch us, Cathy Cat.
Taihen. Moshiwake gozaimasen.
Mm-hmm.
Very sorry.
So sorry.
So sorry.
So sorry that generations of my family are indebted to you due to this outrage and agony I have brought upon your existence.
Probably not that sorry, but along that line.
I'm that sorry, Cathy
you're very
Cat.
sorry.
I am that sorry. Hashtag cancel, Ladybeard. I should be cancelled forever. I should be sent to live in a box. Maybe I already live in a box.
Oh my gosh.
You don't know where I live. Maybe I'm quite happy in my box. This has gotten ridiculous. It's broken down quickly.
So these are the different levels and also how deep you bow. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be in screen. Am I sorry yet?
Yes.
I'm a bit more sorry now.
A little bit.
Does that work? Yeah. And I'm so sorry now.
Yeah, that's about the average.
Just the average. If I go a little bit lower, where am I now?
Yeah, it's about 90 degrees. And it's like something you do at the press conference.
Press conference apology. I'm really apologizing to you right now. Are you feeling awkward yet?
Yeah, I feel super awkward. It's
Also, what I'm not supposed to do is like do this. Like look up at you. Like look up at you while apologizing. You're not allowed to do that. That's
Boss one of those to the camera. That was very funny.
Bad apology. Don't do that. Bad apology. You have to look down somewhere in front of your feet to do a proper apology and then keep holding it. The more sorry you are, the deeper you bow and the longer you hold it. You should feel it in your legs.
Do you know what, man? I don't forgive you. Hashtag cancel Cathy Cat. This has been unacceptable. This is not enough
apology today. There was a time on YouTube, specifically in recent years, and it's still continuing, which is becoming a trend where influencers have to go and apologize. But
oh, really?
They don't just apologize like in the West. You will know this is an apologization video because suddenly they will wear a suit.
Oh.
It's their apology suit.
Is there a specific suit?
It's generally just a suit. They suddenly start wearing a suit even though you've never seen them in a suit. If you see the thumbnail with them wearing a suit, you're like, oh, they're sorry about something.
Oh,
they done something.
Tell us about some recent famous apologies.
Recent famous apologies. That is not a recent one. I start from a bit further behind. I mean, everyone knows Hajime Shacho.
Yes.
Hajime Shacho. There was a scandal a couple of years back. It's a bit longer back, but he was apparently cheating with 5 different girls, at least 5. 5 raised their voices, at least 4 or 5, and turns out one of them was a high school girl.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a serious.
And he did, that's one thing he apologized for, and then he disappeared off the YouTube for a little bit, and then he came back saying, it disappeared because I actually was working on my new movie. Check out my new movie.
I thought you would say he was disappeared because he got put in prison.
Nope, he apparently was working on his new movie and made a great comeback. So I guess he got away with that.
That seems way worse than doing Dogeza to me.
It's the lukewarm apologies, I guess. Yeah, that's one thing. Usually, pretty boys on the internet, they get away with a lot, though. So that seems to be a recurring thing. But sometimes some people are forced in Japan to apologize for things that are not like on a Western scheme that bad. Okay. For example, there was Hikakin, again, the biggest YouTuber of Japan, and apparently he ate a fruit the wrong way.
He ate fruit the wrong way, ladies and gentlemen.
And people gave him hell for that. Shiori, could you explain that? It's a typical Japanese fruit he was eating.
Yeah, so he was in the video, he tried to eat akebi. It's I think it's a Japanese native fruit you can find in the mountains. It looks like a purple eggplant, but looking like a plum. So usually when we eat them, we eat the skin instead of the seeds inside. But he ate the seeds instead. Okay. So he ate the wrong part of the fruit. And then of course, it didn't taste good. So he was criticizing the fruits by what is this? Why people would eat this kind of stuff. Wow. But so then he got in trouble.
But he's Japanese, so he would have known that normally you eat the skin and not the seeds, right? So was that part of his gag?
No, he was genuinely ignorant about it.
He didn't know it. I mean, that fruit is pretty rare. I've never really seen it much either. So he probably was trying to do a taste test and just ate it wrong, and the internet did not forgive him.
Wow, really? So you had to put on a suit and apologize for eating
Yeah, so there's some I'm gonna mention some ridiculous things that influencers have to apologize for.
Just cancel me now so I don't have to deal with any of this. Hashtag cancel Ladybeard. I'm out.
Seriously.
I said some Japan-German thing before. That's a reason to cancel me. Hashtag cancel Ladybeard. I don't care.
The internet is quite unforgiving. That is definitely a thing. And having been in the world of the internet for this long, it's very, very, very unforgiving. And seems a next level in depending on how upset people are. During the pandemic, everyone was frustrated and angry. So everyone was very angry at everything all the time. Touchy. So you have to apologize for using a product too much, for wasting it. I think Hajime Chacho was wasting Nivea. He was using too much Nivea cream. You can get into trouble for using it the wrong way, like the fruit. You can get into trouble for just using it at all because it turns out that product is maybe linked to something else that you did not know about that you should actually not buy it. Or just having it in the background because maybe you bought it. You're not even using it on camera, but you have it and you shouldn't be having it because of a reason of something that you might not know about.
Oh, man. All of this seems like very hard work.
It's tough.
Yielding minimum results.
I think the internet is expecting every influencer to know all the news at all times. And it's impossible. People are busy. People have busy lives. People can't be informed. He didn't know how to eat that fruit. That's okay. You didn't know that person you're standing in the picture with is maybe not the best person to be in a picture with. Or eat that item, use that item, have the background. Not everyone knows everything all the time.
You didn't realize you were doing your podcast and you shot a video of a funny song, and then it turns out the original singer of that funny song is in trouble. So
yep,
that's that video
happened
down real quick.
Yeah, that's happened. Yep, we did that by accident.
I know that story very well.
We did a video with the song. We sang the song, and then it turns out people were like, "Nah, you shouldn't right now." That there's some scandal about that song and that singer.
All right.
You don't know, especially I find in Japan some of these Western news they get to us quite delayed. So by the time we get those news, we're like, "Oh, everyone already knows it." But we might not know.
But also here's the other thing though. Do they actually know it? Because the internet is completely, what do you call it? Split up and fragmented. So the algorithm sends you your stuff, and the algorithm sends me my stuff, and they could be two totally separate worlds.
Good point.
So how do I know who got cancelled in your world when the algorithm doesn't even, I don't even pay attention to your world? And there's somehow I say something about whatever, and there's some kind of crossover, and then the entire internet is going to descend upon me, even though it's completely unreasonable due to this fractured multiverse of algorithm-induced lifestyles and content diets that we all respectively consume in the year 2024.
That is a really smart way of expressing that.
Yeah, you know what? Hashtag cancel culture. That's what I reckon. Hey.
It can be very, very difficult to discern what is like a hot topic in one country compared to another country. And sometimes it's only knowing in the niche of a niche of a niche, especially in subcultures. The more you go into subcultures, people will be like, oh no, that person had this thing about that and that. But by the time you don't even know that person, you don't even know what's going on, it's very, very hard to discern that, I guess. But the internet is unforgiving. And as soon as you have your face out there, you need to be perfect.
Now, because I always felt like it was the Western internet that was far more aggressive than the Japanese internet. But do you think Japan is the same level or even worse of internet scrutiny here?
I think during the pandemic, some people were very easily to be upset. And so there were a couple of things where people were like pulled apart from traveling, even if it was a work trip or like being somewhere at all or going somewhere at all, I think during that time. But that was probably a time when everyone was easier to get upset. But sometimes I see also things with slight rule things that you have to be more perfect than a normal person. So for example, if you take a picture and you accidentally stand on one of those yellow lines that go around all around Tokyo, there's the lines for people who are blind, the yellow lines that you see by the train.
Oh, the
yellow blocks.
The block things put into the
Exactly. Those ones you see everywhere in Tokyo. You cannot miss them. They're literally on every street. But some influencers got into trouble by taking a photo standing on them. Because you're not supposed to be standing on them, even though they're everywhere and you probably walk on them daily.
The road.
Yeah, but some influencers got into trouble for standing on them because you shouldn't be standing on them because you could be blocking someone's path. But
well, all right.
That kind of stuff.
Tell us about some famous public apologies, Cathy Cat.
Famous public apologies. We have the Hikakin one. You have the Hajime Shacho one.
What about Becky? Can we talk about Becky?
We could talk about Becky.
Becky was a half British, half Japanese TV talent, and she was very, very famous, and she was one of the few foreigners who'd done really well on TV at her specific time. And she had a big old scandal because it turns out she was dating a man who was married to some other woman.
And it turned into a witch hunt where people were literally like trying to absolutely destroy her at any means possible at all. And even though she apologized under tears, you could see that mentally she was like getting really skinny and probably her mental health was in a bad place. They tore her apart. I heard there's a rumor that Japanese wives can actually sue or like the lover or something.
It's in the law. So if you're married and then one of you goes and is unfaithful, then the spouse who was faithful can now sue both their spouse and whoever the spouse cheated on them with. And apparently the theory is this external person has come in and interrupted a happy home. And so legal action can be taken. I
do understand that she could sue her own man or the man could sue the wife because they clearly know what they're doing. But the other person, you never know what they were telling them. They're saying, oh, there's no love in my marriage. Oh, I will break up with her next week. You don't know.
Could have been saying maybe this ring was just a friendship ring given to me by Barry when we were 12. We kept them on all this time.
Who knows? Yeah.
Baz, me and Baz were like that.
Yeah, so I guess that it turned into a witch hunt, and it was just for me just kind of shocking to see how extreme people went after this one girl who was mentally absolutely falling apart. I think she came back a couple of years later.
Yeah, she's back now, isn't she?
Yeah, yes and no. Like she came back apologizing again. She was like super skinny, looking not so healthy. She apologized again. Her husband, the unfaithful husband, was already way back on TV. He was back on TV. He was running shows, but just the women, she was not allowed to. She came back. She apologized again. Next day, big news in the newspaper. The wife does not want her to be allowed to be back in the media at all whatsoever.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, why is the wife in show business, or the wife's just totally separate?
I don't quite know about that, but I think she's just the wife, as far as I know. They never split up in the end as well.
Really?
Yeah, probably to keep face in the whole scandal situation.
Whenever the word wife is used with the in front of it, it's never in a positive context, is it? It's always, I gotta get home to the wife. It's never my wife, the wife. Oh, no. Now, seems the wife is upset. It's never his wife, it's the wife.
I don't know, but the wife of the great illusionists, it doesn't sound so bad.
The wife of the great illusionist.
That's the first thing I could think of.
Hey, who is the wife of the great illusionist?
I don't know, I just made this up.
Who is the great illusionist?
I was trying to think of a good name to use the wife.
I love the wife of the great illusionist. What a legend. What else?
But yeah, that was like a big apology. We also had the big apology of AKB. That was a big scandal.
Oh, that was massive, wasn't it?
Wow.
Massive. This young lady in the old AKB 48, it turned out she had a boyfriend. And she was busted spending time with her boyfriend. And she was forced to go on TV and do a teary apology, and she had to shave her head.
Well, it's a bit of a thing whether she had to shave her head or she shaved it herself, or it was power harassment that got her to shave her head, because up until that point, the idol group had been going pretty well. There hadn't been any big scandals, and she caused the very first big scandal to put a blemish on that image of that idol group.
And let me tell you something, she didn't do that great a job of shaving her head. When you see the video, there's wispy bits here and there and everywhere. Clearly was she didn't go to the barber and get a nice clean trim. She didn't want to walk around looking like she had a nice polished dome. It was just inconsistent.
I think that was also a level of like making everyone feel, or a lot of people feel uncomfortable. But again, it was like a very, very deep sign of like how sorry they were. It was a bit, people would talk about it. Same thing with the Becky incident. People would talk about it and people would split into teams. Either team wife or team Becky, or team she's done the right thing versus team no, this is unforgivable versus team where that was way too much.
And sometimes you have to give a present in apology, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, in these situations, against presents are not going to help. But if you are actually sorry in Japan and you've done something as being a foreigner that you are not knowing the culture, then yeah, there's a little bit of present giving.
There's a bit of present giving. If you're going to give an apology present, keep in mind an apology present is different from a regular present or a gratitude present. You can't, so you're giving an apology present. The present must be organized in advance. The recipient of your apology cannot see you preparing the apology present, and the present must be given after the apology is complete and has been accepted. If you give your apology present before the apology has been accepted, then it's like you try to bribe your way to forgiveness.
I mean, that's like if you're sorry and you kind of go first with the present, that's like, I buy a little bit the forgiving off you. So ideally don't show them that you have the gift, or maybe give it to them later after they have forgotten.
What's a good apology present? Sure, let's say I scratch your car. Let's say I ride my bike into your car and I've left a big old dent and a scrape along your door. If I want to give you an apology present, how would I apologize?
Well, actually, there is one shop which is famous for apology gift.
Oh,
wow, really?
There's a shop for that?
Wow, I'm sorry, Inc. Yeah.
No,
ごめんなさい Inc.
But Toraya no Yokan.
Okay.
So Yokan, do you know what Yokan is?
Oh, wait a second. That jelly, Japanese jelly made with like
sweet beans.
Azuki beans?
Yes.
I know Toraya. They're the ones with the tiger, right?
Yes. So there are really traditional like Japanese sweets company called Toraya, and Toraya's Yokan is famous for apology gift. Really? I'm quite not sure about the background of this, but they have this reputation, and it's really the most like conservative. I think it's because of the density of Yokan. It's really dense, so it's like kind of heavy, and then that represents like how regrettable you are or something.
Or like you very, as dense as this Yokan is, that's how sorry I am. problem though, if you don't like Yokan, it's not going to be such a good gift.
Yeah.
Where probably like it's, it's thick and dense and you like, bam, here, this is how sorry I am. Instead of like, ooh, look, this fluffy,
Fluffy, some fairy
senbei,
floss, some marshmallow,
fluffy
that
rice crackers.
And then, does the recipient actually consume the Yokan?
Yeah, they can do whatever.
So it's not just a symbolic thing. But now here's what's up though. In Japan, if you waste food, then that is significantly frowned upon. So if you don't eat your Yokan, your apology Yokan, now you would have to apologize, would you not? Aha! Checkmate!
Actually, you can reject the gift, apology gift, if you don't.
That's like
forgive.
rejecting the apology a little bit, is it not?
Yeah, so it's basically, if you cannot forgive that person, you can reject the apology gift.
Oh,
You cannot forgive that person.
Oh, damn. They're not accepting your Yokan. Your jelly.
Oh my
The jelly has been rejected. Oh, that's time. That's when you might have to pull the dogeza out. That's maybe the timing to pull that one out.
But you had your
that's
apology
already-
present rejected.
You already did the 90 degree and holding and looking at your feet for a long time. That's maybe time to put that.
And-
pull that one out.
And you know what? Sometimes in Japanese, you say sorry when what you really mean is thank you.
Yes, sometimes it happens when you want to show your gratitude. You say sorry, like すいませんね.
I get that. I usually bring gifts. I bring gifts a lot to the office.
She
I
does.
bring
She's
gifts
great.
to my colleagues, but I bring gifts a lot. And so people started saying like, oh, we're so sorry. We're making you bring gifts
Feel
again
like
to the
you're
office.
inconveniencing the person who gives the gift, you know what I'm saying? So here's the way I look at it. You say Cathy brings a gift, and now the equilibrium between me and Cathy has been displaced. Cathy has done me a favor. So now her doing things for me has raised. So now I need to apologize because clearly I'm failing in the do things for her department.
So you kind of level up by saying, oh, sorry for having made you
so if
buy that stuff.
inconveniencing you by not even making you do it, but having had you do it.
I guess. I mean, like, the gift-giving culture in Japan is very unique, I think. And generally, people then balance it out again by then giving a gift when they go somewhere. So in the end, you end up just having sweets all the time, and I love it.
Well, thank you for your service. And I'm sorry, you have to do that.
Don't worry about it. I'll probably bring some sweets in again.
You certainly will. We're going to wrap this bad boy up. What do you reckon?
Let's wrap it up. I hope you learned a little bit about apologies in Japan, how to take them serious, and if your favorite Japanese YouTuber actually suddenly wears a suit, you know what's about to happen.
I'm not sorry for any of the things that have happened. I'm genuinely not sorry. Hashtag cancel Ladybeard. I'm a horrible person. I should never be allowed in public again. Boo-hoo-hoo. Watch me shave my head. I hope you will forgive me. Sort of. Not really. Sorry, thank you, Cathy Cat.
I think if you set the bar this low, it's a good idea. Maybe set the bar low.
Just hashtag cancel Ladybeard. Let's just start that up. Let's just get it done. I'm going to preemptively cancel myself. That way I cannot be cancelled in the future by
that's
anyone
a
else.
smart plan. I like it.
That's what I'm going to do. Preemptively cancel myself.
All right. Well, guys, please don't forget to check out the YouTube channel if this is not where you're actually watching this. If this is where you're watching the YouTube channel, and feel free to write something you would like to apologize for in the YouTube comments. Make it funny.
You can even demand an apology from us.
Oh, you demand an apology for us? That's also possible. Exactly.
Yeah, but don't get us to do it. What's it called?
Dogiza. That's not going to happen.
Because, that'll make it bad.
Oh, no. That will ruin the mood of the podcast.
Yeah, you might get sent to prison if you're in Japan. You do.
3 years.
Mate.
Take that serious. All right. We hope we gave you a little bit of some facts, and we hope to see you on the next episode of Cat with Beard. So sorry.
I'm really sorry. You had to
Gomenasai.
endure whatever that was.